Well, hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and tonight we have this strange case of the same day Meghan's. This apparently happened on March 21st, but the corresponding pictures were not available to the public until much later, namely yesterday, when we got a video of Meghan visiting Los Angeles Children's Hospital. Nothing to see here, I said. I really did not pay much attention to it. Until this morning that I saw my rogues debating that these two Meghans couldn't have happened in the same day. Now, as usual, I try to be fair. In this case, there are many details that we must consider. Not only lighting, but also the tone of each event. In the sense that the event at the art gallery on the right, it was more of a warm reddish tone, while the visit to the children's hospital was more of a yellowish tone. Even so, there was this almost unanimous observation that Meghan looked way better on the left, even if the tone was yellowish, and also that her hair looked different. Now, there's enough proof that these pictures at the art event with that black coat with flowers that looks like a distant cousin of the Oprah interview dress were taken on March 21st. I mean, there are enough witnesses, right? And the event was publicized that same day. Even Doria got to take a picture with Beyoncé's mother. You know that it seems that Doria is preparing to become Meghan's personal public relations manager, as WME's contract is about to expire. First Kris Jenner, now Tina Knowles. What is Doria trying to do here? And thanks to the veil between us two, who spotted that this is the same dress that Meghan was wearing at Frogmore. Now, I see no problem with that. Anyone can rewear a dress, but the problem with Meghan is that those days at Frogmore have been a bit suspicious because recollections not only vary, no, they lack much needed sense. And the other factor is Harry. Why wasn't Harry at the children's hospital visit? Maybe no big deal here, but since they apparently spent that day together, why couldn't the Duke of Sussex be with his wife? Just a question this time. But I was about to just dismiss this as not enough differences to really tell if this was the same Meghan. I mean, Meghan in the same day. But at least I had to find two pictures that were taken in the same angle, at more or less the same distance, and with cameras with similar focal length. Maybe the photo on the right was taken with a mobile phone, but I am not really sure. But what caught my attention was the difference in hair length. Again, it could be that her hair on the right had a different travel behind her neck, and that's why it looks shorter, but I thought that this should be pointed out. And the last observation is about Meghan's smile. You see in the picture on the left, that is a genuine smile because you see her cheeks really pressing her eyes. And yes, there are moments when Meghan smiles for real. But the one on the right, her lip corners are up, but her eyes lack that delightful expression. That was not a genuine smile. But now it has nothing to do if these two pictures were taken the same day, but I thought that it was an interesting insight from a body language perspective. But to make things even more suspicious, by this point, if you are on Twitter or X, you might have noticed that there are very real bot wars. And regarding this recent visit to the children's hospital, there was this barrage of accounts praising her for this. Liberté Austin noted that Meghan Markle went to a kid's hospital for a photo op, then sent her bots out to tell the world. Why are the posters mostly Middle Eastern? You know that I'm quite curious and had to take a closer look at this and realized a couple things. Yeah, most of them have not only Middle Eastern names, but at the same time, all of them, and I mean, all of them are men. Now, I'm not one to judge. Anybody can have strange fixations, but I find it statistically impossible that so many Middle Eastern men are fans of Meghan and Harry. I mean, that doesn't fly with me. And to make matters much more suspicious, some of those accounts have the same name and the username is only separated by one digit. This reeks of bots. But now, some of you might not be familiar with check marks on Twitter or X. Previously, they were assigned only to notable people, but right now, to have that check mark, you just need to pay $8 a month and pass an ID verification test. And why would they do that? Because when you pay, and as long as you behave by Twitter rules, your replies are amplified, which means that whoever is behind this operation wants to make sure that these bots are heard, wants to make sure that Harry and Meghan trend, and at the same time has the money to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Who can it be? And they went further and began checking out said verified accounts. Most of them have the same behavior. They just try to jump on global news trends, but some of them have pinned or fixed tweets about King Charles and Princess Catherine, and not in a good way. They don't tweet about celebrities or even royal gossip. It's just very precise praises to Meghan and very precise attacks to Catherine and the King, including the hashtag KateGate to share, among other things, a 3D reenactment of Diana's gruesome accident. I wish this was a joke, but it isn't. And I'm just scraping the surface with these human bots. So it cannot be a coincidence that Meghan releases a video of doubtful date of creation, as in the video of the children's hospital, and all of a sudden a barrage of bots begins to push Meghan and her book reading, autograph signing to trend on X? I don't know. I don't buy it. And speaking of bots, Dan Wootton has published the first part of his exposé of the Sausage Squad. And this doesn't look good for the Montecito duo. And I say first part because some bot experts have become triggered by this and will respond anytime soon, starting what we could call the first non-royal bot wars. This has been the obvious intention from the beginning, and the mainstream media is finally starting to catch up on this. And in news that I will be elaborating further tomorrow, Balmoral Castle's website has crashed after it announced it will be opening its doors to the public for the first time this summer. And even if photos or videos are forbidden, I'm thinking about doing the tour and live streaming it undercover because YOLO. Well, let's elaborate on that tomorrow. My roguies, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And remember, much love and bliss.